Blitz 10 minute, that's good. And you're black. Scandinavian, okay. It's good for now. But you should know e takes d5 is the best move. And after queen takes d5, white has like two options that are good. Knight f3 is more positional and should give white a slight advantage. And knight c3 is the more well-known move and also gives white some advantage. It's kind of harder maybe because black has like three choices for where to put his queen. Maybe even queen e5 can be played here. But concretely speaking, white should get an advantage. But that's beyond the scope of this video. So he plays d4, transposing into the Black-Mar-Demer gambit. This can also be reached by this move order, d4 first, d5, and then e4. You play knight f6. Not a very challenging move because after e5, I don't really see what black should be proud of. If you go knight to e4, then f3 is actually trapping the knight. See, I cannot go here, I cannot go anywhere. All squares are occupied. And yeah. So, the knight's trapped. Black has to try maybe e6. Kind of two ideas in mind. The first idea with e6 is number one, you can maybe try to escape with knight g5 because the queen is protecting the knight from the bishop. However, in this circumstance, like let's just say white plays a random move and knight g5. h4 would still trap the knight in this case. See, there's no square that allows the knight to escape. This pattern is very important actually. This is why the thrust of knight e4 in a lot of openings like this is not good because of these traps. So after e6, what should white do? Well, if we take, it should work, right? I think so, because queen h4 is the only sensible move. But I actually think white can escape everything after just king d2, probably. We should not play g3 because queen takes e4. That's kind of the idea. Now we're forking the king and the rook. This pattern occurs a lot. We can also see it in like the scholar's mate. If we go here and then queen h5, yeah, g6 would be like a blunder because it doesn't deal with the threat of the hanging e5 pawn, and we also open up the rook, kind of exposing it. So here, knight c6 is basically the best move. So you did play knight e4. That is what happened in the game. Okay. Well, so you should take on e4. By the way, maybe the best move here is knight d7, but it looks kind of cramping, right? Not very pleasant. But you're still not losing. So knight e4, he plays queen d3. Yeah, that's not a very testing move. By the way, just before I continue, let me check something. So, what is the engine assessment? Yeah, +3, that means white is basically... Oops. That means white is winning. So, yeah, e6 does not help white's case at all. Or black's case, I mean. By the way, another problem is after a3, we can play queen to h4 as the engine shows, and if g3, then knight takes g3. This is another important pattern that reoccurs a lot. Alright, engine off, full screen, queen d3. So white is still threatening f3, so how do we handle that? I guess e6 would handle it, because f3 we can just play queen to h4 and have this same pattern. And if the king moves, well, you cannot move to d1 because of this fork. Nice fork. And if we moved e2, then I guess maybe queen f2. I'm not sure, actually. This is kind of hard to analyze. Maybe not queen f2, but oh, knight g3. Knight g3 anyway, because we fork the rook and the king, and if h takes, then we take the rook, and the knight is also hanging, so something like, okay, maybe bishop e3, but I guess the queen is going to escape everything, and black should basically be winning if he doesn't blunder. So you play f5. So if we go f3, then that should basically trap the knight for good. Yeah, I think black has no defense. If we try e6 again, then we can take, and then this is not even close to working because queen g3 is also a move, but I guess king d2 is probably good enough for white because of the extra piece. So f3 happened in the game indeed. Knight g5. Yeah, well, he should take here, and you have nothing. It's completely losing. But he plays a blunder, f4. So now probably knight e6. Yeah. Knight c3. Maybe c5 is a move, or... Oh, by the way, maybe you should play this way, just to ensure that the pawn is guarded, because it's guarded by the bishop, but after knight e6 we block it, and he cannot really take because of knight d4, so actually I'm wrong. Yeah, this is good for black actually. So knight e6 is fine. Okay, knight c3, probably c5. Oh, you take on f4. Well, that just hangs a piece for no reason. You need to maybe strike in the center with c5. Or c6 is also very solid, actually. Again, this will not work for white. So, okay, c5, I like c5. And if we take, then we have like a choice. We have to be a little careful because we have to see queen b5. Looks like a fork, right? But maybe, yeah, because we have knight bd7. We should not play knight dc7 because of e6. And then all of a sudden, knight takes d5 is also coming. But the point is that, okay, the knight's pinned. So, it has to be knight b d7 so that e6 just runs into knight takes e6. So, that's important to see. Okay, well, bishop e3, a6, and then we're just kicking everything. Oops. We're just kicking. We have good play. Also, e6 here. Just for solidity. I guess anything else you can try? I don't know. You play this, which is just a blunder, but he didn't take it. G5, that's very risky. I would play knight G6 here, although it does hang some material. Maybe better to take this way. Okay, knight C6, knight B5 is a nice tactic. If queen takes D5, then this fork is very thematic. It happens a lot. So it looks like a free queen, right? But actually, black lost castling rights and a pawn. He lost a pawn. So knight G6 doesn't really look good enough, so maybe G5 is actually interesting. Maybe it's better. I'm not sure. Another idea maybe is knight back to E6, because if queen takes D5, then knight takes D4 is like a strong counterattack. It's always good to like put pressure, especially pressure in the center. It's always good. G5, yeah, the knight feels a bit misplaced just because it's better on E6 or something. I don't really... Okay, he blunders a piece. Yeah, he should not take here. Maybe just G3 is good for white. Okay, I don't know. Knight E2 just to guard everything. It's interesting and hard to analyze. D5 is hanging. What to say? It all results are possible, especially at a lower level. I do prefer black a little bit, just because I feel like he has more pressure that matters. I don't know. So in the game, it was knight takes blundering a piece. Here I would probably consider E6, maybe. And just put the bishop on E6 and maybe knight on, maybe pawn C5, knight C6. Or even just pawn on C6 and knight here. Although he has this check, I just realized, and I have to go here. If I go here, then there's this tactic winning the queen, so I would have to go here. But I guess black should be better. Okay, fine. Maybe best move is going to be bishop e6. It's hard to say. Knight f4 I don't really like, because you can take, which he did in the game, and then instead of taking here, he could consider queen h5 immediately. Maybe this just kills black. Maybe it doesn't. So we can take, or we can go d5 threatening queen f5, or we can take here right away. And this would be checkmate, so king c6 would be forced. Also, e6 is getting checkmated. So king c6, what to do? Maybe queen e4, king... I don't know. Something like this is... there's gotta be a better finish for white. Maybe to go here, king here, and then I feel like white is checkmating very soon, for sure. Something like that. But he has to be precise. So in the game he took, which cannot be as good, knight c6, d5, excellent for white. Maybe just play e6. Or, yeah, e6 maybe. Or I was thinking h5 is kind of cute because, or it's a trappy move because if we castle queenside, then bishop h6 suddenly wins the queen by a skewer. By playing h5, we protect this h6 square with the rook. I'm not sure what is best here, but just some ideas. I don't like this position for black. Right, yeah, okay. So you, yeah, you win a rook, which your opponent should not allow. So instead of e6, probably bishop b3 is good. Um, yeah, protecting c2 and attacking b4. And, well, he can take, though. Okay, interesting. Not sure. Oh, maybe castle queenside because we protect the pawn with the rook and we protect the c2 pawn. And we have a strong attack for white. So he blunders. Okay, attacking your rook. Yeah, rook g8. Take. Okay, threatening checkmate already. How do you parry this? Rook g7. No, you need to play rook g7. Let's check engine, because I don't see how white continues the attack. Okay, fine. It's a small advantage for white, or it's a winning small advantage. Oh, bishop takes e6 because you cannot take this due to the pin. And if queen takes, then what's the point? e6, and we're coming at the king very quickly, and that would have won for black. So you basically just gave mate. You didn't resist. This, you can even play queen d6 and queen f4 according to the engine. Even this is hard for white to win. But yeah, best is to take here. It's kind of pretty. -8, so black is overwhelmingly winning. That pretty much sums up this game. I guess the most important takeaway is like all these patterns for beginner, that is. So, or novice. So those patterns earlier, like with knight going on e4 being trapped by f3, is very important. I will check out the other game. Okay, we can save. Doesn't matter. What happened? Oh, I don't have it saved. Okay. How do I... Oh, I just share. And then copy paste the PGN. You are black again, okay? e5, that's kind of risky. Um, it's a gambit he should take, and this is just better for white. But black does have some traps in this line. Knight c6 is like the move here, trying to win the pawn back. Anyway, e5, e3, okay. Now, black has some options. He can take here and play this way. Transposes into the exchange French, which is this. Same thing. Or another option, instead of going into that, would just be to probably just e4 maybe. So you did play knight c6. I guess that also is a move, but I don't like allowing d5. Okay, knight e7 is best probably, and you will just go d6 and knight f6 and knight g6 with an interesting position. Maybe knight g6 immediately. He takes, and now I guess I like black, equal position. Okay, knight c3, d5, hanging a pawn. He should probably take with the queen. This is just good for white. But he takes with knight, that's also good, I think, but it does allow this. And it's kind of more passive for white. Still good, though. You did play c6, good. Okay, knight f6 is just a blunder. Yeah, you can take, probably this way to take is the best, just to develop your knight instead of taking with the pawn. But it doesn't really matter much, since you're just winning material. Bishop h6, okay, maybe bishop f5 was a little better. My idea. Oh, it allows knight d4, protecting and attacking f5, protecting c2. So maybe not bishop f5 in retrospect. Maybe just. I don't like bishop h6, but maybe it's actually good in retrospect because it's always awkward for white to push his e-pawn. Maybe you can just take and then be with a good position. Something like this. But, okay, you play that. Maybe bishop e6, I don't know. So, yeah, you can probably retreat to... I'm not sure which square's best. Maybe just knight g4, h3, and knight gf6. Okay. He did bishop d2 instead, but h3 was fine for black too. Okay. Oh, knight f6, that's a blunder because the knight is suddenly trapped. Or can I just take here because of this pin? Not quite, because of king d2. Or even king f2. And I think white is retaining his piece. So it's very important to see these kind of moves that are blunders because of traps and stuff. It's important to see that knight gf6 enables your knight to be trapped. So instead you can play bishop e6, and anytime they play h3 you just retreat. Indeed, these beginners will not play the best moves, like almost every move they will make a mistake. But in order to advance to a higher level, it's very important to like play these strong moves that that parry these kind of threats. So he did not see this, and he castles queenside. suddenly you have a fork, and you're just um, overwhelmingly winning because you were already a piece up to begin with. He has only 3 minors, you have 4, and now you're going to win a rook for the knight. Yeah, this is just, and he has no useful check. Like, this puts the king in check, you just take. It's, um, you miss this and you play knight e4. However, knight e4 is also good enough because after h3 it's going to allow your knight to escape. Although you could just, again, put it on f2. I just mean that it does give f6 square, which is useful, but yeah, knight f2 is just winning. So you go here, it's good still. He takes. Oh, right, I missed this. Yeah, of course. I actually didn't see this. It's a nice discover check, attacking the king and the rook. So, to parry this, maybe... Yeah, knight e4 is not good because he vacates the c3 square. That's why you need knight f2. Also, kind of induces him to move the rook out of the way, and now he has no longer like these discoveries. Okay, so you blunder. Okay, maybe you should put your king on e7 instead, so that bishop e6 attacks the bishop that would capture on h8. Also, I guess king e8. Yeah, you have this fork, so you do recover something, but after all, he actually wins a piece back and retains the material advantage. Okay, your bishop gets trapped. Yeah, bishop g6 is getting trapped. I don't see counterattack because this is just winning the piece, isn't it not? Yeah, I think it's winning for white. But he missed this. Well, you play b5, and then he retreats, and oh, that's really resourceful. But he can take still, and with a good position, because now both these pieces are attacked, so it's a good try, but it doesn't do enough. In fact, maybe it's worsening your position, because now after the bishop takes, your f7 bishop hangs. Oh, he missed this. Yeah, he should go rook d1. I'm sorry, so your idea makes everything worse after b5 and f6. Yeah, you kind of have to let him win your piece. Oops, let's say b5 or something. You kind of have to let him win this piece. And then just argue that, okay, you have like an extra pawn maybe, and yeah, I don't know. It's still winning for white. But due to tactical reasons, your idea with b5, just f6, it just doesn't help. Yeah, he should take here. Okay, well, it's still winning for white. Okay, he has this tactic again. Or, sorry, he doesn't. I think he should just take... oh, f5 by your opponent. That's good. Attacking this. Yeah, okay. Completely winning for white. Right. Sorry, I kind of rushed that. Well, f5 was a good move. Indeed. What else did I miss? I kind of rushed this part. Yeah, well, he can just play takes. It's also good enough. And then this. and then try to advance all his pawns and attack the a7 pawn. That would also be good enough. Good enough. Yeah. To summarize, I think weakness is going to be, uh, well, obviously tactics, but um, I think also just strategy. Well, you hang these pawns for no reason. I think if you developed some strategic understanding, then you would have a better idea what to play for. I kind of have the feeling that you hang these pawns because your strategy is almost non-existent. You're just trying to play aggressively. Yeah, d5. I mean, if he doesn't capture, plays like knight f3 or something, then it's a fine move for black. Okay, here we can take and play c6. Looks pretty fine. Uh, you just also need more experience analyzing games. Probably just to play more and to review. But for tactics, yeah, I guess it's important to review these games for tactics and see what you missed. It's extremely useful. That way, uh, they apply in your future games.